and women's issues because they're women's issues. It doesn't matter that I got 8 sisters. It doesn't matter that I got a wife. It doesn't matter that I got a daughter. It doesn't matter. My proximity to women does not matter. Am I caring about their issues? I care about their issues because they are women and women are important and women deserve great things, right?
I had a conversation recently with a woman that I really respect, and she was like, look, Black women have always prioritized our Blackness before being a woman. Yeah. In this season, though, I really need y'all to prioritize what's on the table for us as women, right? Understanding that, like, and it's the truth, Black women are showing up for us. Every day, all day, every day, super consistently. At the expense of themselves. And that's what she was saying to me. She was like, we have prioritized Blackness over the issues that are important to us as women.
I've seen the post of so many friends today, and the results of the election were telling. And I'm not going to talk about that, but what I'm going to say unequivocally is thank you to Black women. And I want to tell you, do not allow the results of yesterday to distract you, dissuade you from the greatness and brilliance that you are. To the women that have loved me, those are my family, those around me, my friends, thank you. And there are men out there like me who will also stand with you, before you, behind you, and beside you to make sure that you don't feel what I know you probably feel today. Don't own that. That's not your responsibility. Thank you for taking on the task of putting the country on your back. And even though we didn't land where we wanted to, I believe that there's better coming for all of us. So stay focused and we'll continue to fight together.
Oh, so much to say. I got like a flood of thoughts. So I'm gonna just try to keep it as short and sweet as possible. I'm disappointed. I am. I'm disappointed. I think a lot of people are disappointed. Not just women, not just Black women, but shouts out to Black women because, as usual, we are the backbone and the consciousness of this country, and it shows in our voting trends every single time. So, shouts out to us for staying on code and being consistent. I love my sisters. I do. I do. And shouts out to the 70 plus percentage of the Black men that also showed up for themselves and for everybody else. I'm the type of voter that when I go into the booth, I don't just vote for myself. I'm not facing deportation. I'm not facing economic strife. A lot of the things that are on the table that are going to be affecting people as of this presidential election are not a thing that I'm concerned about, but I am a humanitarian and I do care about other people. So that's how I vote. Um, and so it always baffles me when people come into the voting booth with one issue and one issue only, their pockets. But needless to say, we are in a democracy and we have to respect the process. But it just shows me where we're at. I mean, every day y'all see me. If anybody knows me, they know my fight, racism and misogyny all the time. And people tell me all the time, racism isn't real, misogyny, you're fabricating it, you know? And I think that seeing the results of this overqualified candidate being blown out is such a reminder of how real misogyny and racism is. It's very much alive and it's very much real. That woman was overqualified for the job. She was the only candidate that ever ran for president that was active in all 3 branches of government. But we told her that she was a hoe. That's what we reduced her to. I mean, the lack of respect that was given to that woman when she was running was deplorable. It was disgusting. Um, I think that we're losing sight of what the commander in chief is supposed to represent in the United States. He or she is supposed to be not only the president of the United States, but the leader of the free world. That is a insurmountable responsibility that we're not taking seriously. And for us to place a fucking clown like Donald J. Trump okay, that was born with his father's titty in his mouth. And we really think that he could relate to the people in the trenches that are facing economic strife, a failed businessman, a slumlord, a convicted rapist, 3 baby mamas and 6 kids, and y'all gonna look me in my face and tell me that that's what should be representing us? I digress. I'm disappointed.
Okay. Oh, um, go ahead, Aisha.
I'm not at all disappointed. I do agree with two things. Misogyny does exist, and so does racism. But I agree that those exist on both ends. They're not exclusive to the Republicans and Donald Trump. They're not exclusive to the Democrats and Kamala. I say this all the time. They're all racist. The dominant society is racist. So what we were asked to do was choose the lesser of two evils. So when you're asked to choose a question like that, to choose out of those things, then you have to choose logic. And logically, she failed. The Democrats failed. They didn't offer tangibles. They've been in office for over 4 years and have given us nothing. And so that's why Kamala lost. It had nothing to do with that she was a Black woman. I just don't think that. I think that she lost because the campaign sucked. She only had about 2.5 months to run on. I believe that they knew that she was going to lose, just like they knew Biden was going to lose. So they set her up to take the fall. But the whole stance of her being qualified, I mean, what does that even look like? Because she's been in office for how long? She is the border czar. She's flooding the country with immigrants. I don't know who said that didn't matter, but that absolutely matters, especially when we're paying taxes. That absolutely matters. It absolutely matters when you're flooding the country with an immigrant class to undermine the Black vote and to undermine Black people, which that didn't work because most of the Hispanics voted for Trump. So they lost on all ends, but I don't see how that's anyone's fault but the Democrats.
From what I hear is that it was everybody was just off of that identity politics energy, and it failed. People thought that it was more powerful and more important than the overall needs and uh, of the entire country. All people specifically. I think everybody's butt hurt because they thought that was going to be the driving force of the election, and then come to find out, not even close. You know what I'm saying? So we understand that there's women out here who got issues with the way policies are, you know, and they want to just make sure that's their women specifically, or the rights of women specifically, is the most important driving force for the election process. And this country is just not built for that. It's never been built on anything like that. It's all been built on, um, I say, a combination of everybody involved, all races, all genders. Uh, it's all about policy, and policy is proven to be more important than uh, a class or individual need or gender need. So, me personally, this stuff don't impact me because I try to lean as much as I can on biblical principle and just stay spiritually driven. And a lot of these things like this don't even impact me. Um, right now, this is my initial thoughts. I'll let somebody else go, and we may be able to get into some peeling back some layers.
Okay, go ahead, Susie. What your thoughts about it, man? What's going on in your world?
I agree with you to a certain extent. I personally feel like this country is driven off of money. So by voting Trump in, they can kind of pass the laws and the rules that they want in order to help themselves out. No more women's rights for reproductive system. No more IVs. No abortions. None of that, which means they get to save on that money. They don't have to worry about it. And your money, your problem, your issues, like, you deal with that. Like, he want to do mass deportation, not because, oh my God, this country is just overflowing with people. Like, everybody in here was an immigrant at one point or another, right? But you want to deport everybody now because it's costing more money for them. It's raising the prices for them. They don't want to raise their taxes in order to cover these people, so they're trying to get them out of here. That's why. So again, yeah, it is a man. It was more of a man versus woman thing, but I think it was more so about the financial gains that they could have if Trump was in office, because he stands for everything that they're looking to do.